What's up, guys? Johnny Maggot here. It's time for Week 15. Time to play the Ravens in M&T Bank Stadium. Time to play this game and then maybe go to bed. Maybe.
It's Gurley power. It's the coach.
Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor and M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Toronto Mounties and the Baltimore Ravens. It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Ravens with their first look on offense. And they'll be led out by the guy under center, Charles, their quarterback.
And what I enjoyed in preparing for this game was talking not just with the coaching staff, but with him as well. And I found it interesting that the coaching staff sees him one way, and he sees himself an entirely different way.
Yeah, one thing he said he's always working on, we know he's not bad at this, but his footwork, always wants to improve that, and that's something he's going to focus on here.
And what was so funny, what the offensive coordinator say right off the top? He's got great footwork. Love his footwork. So this guy is never satisfied.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's second and 12.
39.
Now on second down, this is Gurley. Nifty move there on the run, but ultimately brought
Like that
down
run
at the
defense.
25. So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive.
Here we go now. 3-19.
He'll drop to throw. Dumps it off to Gurley. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that's going to make it 4th down.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the 3rd down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a
block that
likely
guy in the
3 and
back.
out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
Oh, I nearly broke that one. As it stands, though, a heck of a 36-yard run back. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field.
All right.
Leopard.
The first carry for the former Nittany Lion. This is Saquon Barkley.
There we go. Good
That
run.
one good for 16, and the drive will continue. Last week, of course, the great performance, over 200 yards. He still wants to be fed.
And they should. That's exactly what you should do. I have not yet met a running back that's run for over 200 yards that says the very next week, hey, let's back things off.
Yeah, I don't need it as much.
No, they want it more and more. They're going to be ready to go because they think that's going to happen naturally now.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Looking to throw. Complete. Richardson has it. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Gun.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And it's caught. Touchdown. Julio Jones. His 21st touchdown of the season.
Crazy
and
season.
his guys have taken a first quarter lead. They went empty backfield, all their weapons out wide, so there really was no secret here to what they were going to do.
No secret, but they still had to execute it, and they still had to protect the guy throwing the ball, because oftentimes when you empty the backfield, people bring pressure at you. They managed to hold in there and successfully complete the touchdown pass.
Oh, jeez, I thought I was going to block for a second.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down.
There we go.
Rush, and down he goes.
Check curls, check curls, check curls.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it
He
away,
was
because I'm
unblocked.
going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he's going to go down again.
Take 2 sack with the sacks.
So, Brandon, we've sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Here we go now. Green.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead.
Oh,
He's
no.
got Lockett.
And Lockett's faster than Eddie Cole.
The 20.
Shit.
And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown.
What a fail.
Tyler Lockett, 95 yards. And the Ravens are an extra point away from tying the football game. Well, they were back in the shadows of their own goalpost, and that flipped quickly.
So much for playing it
That
safe.
sucks.
I mean, the conservative, easy call. Run the football, take care of it, create some space, pump the ball away. But no, let's throw it. And sometimes a defense's aggressiveness is used against them, because when you got people backed up, your natural inclination is to try and really force them back. And sometimes they get burned that way.
And they got burned there.
Yeah, we got burned there.
So out now comes the offense back onto the field.
That
And
was
they're hoping
rough.
to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up, because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On second down, here's Barkley. He finds an opening past the 40 and all the way up to the 46.
All right, decent
It's
run.
a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. His first carry of their second drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurtling through them.
Back to throw. Caught left side by Funchess. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Give him 30 yards there.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that and have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
You're tackling something down the 3-yard line.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
They're giving the yardage on the
Behind you
pass
with the
and
penalty.
half the distance to the goal line.
Automatic
Because
first
they're
down.
inside the 30, so now you don't march off the full 15, right? You have half the distance to the goal. In any event, that's precious real estate given up.
They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, and it's caught.
There you go.
Touchdown. Devin Funchess, his 21st touchdown of the season. And his guys are able to strike for 6. And he's such a talented tight end, just creates nightmarish-type matchups on the other side.
He's so good that when we say tight end, we're almost damning him with faint praise, aren't we? Because he can do it all. He's as good as any receiver in the NFL.
Well, that's the deal. He's a wide receiver, just in a bigger body.
Bigger body, a matchup nightmare, and who's going to cover him? When I sit in the film session, I just look at the coach and say, really? Really? You going to yell at me? You go cover him.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, but maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
Jumpy on the right side of the line.
Sometimes when you're on the end, a little bit farther away from the ball, any type of movement will get you to jump, and that's exactly what happened there.
Set! Blue 90!
Now a play fake here on 1st down. There's the Penn State man. It's Chris Godwin. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Big chunks of yardage the last few plays, and the Ravens have another 1st down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go! 3-19!
On 1st down, it's Gurley. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Here we go!
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Throw underneath for Gurley. And he gets it down to the 32. Give him 3 on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry? Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
And Hopkins' kick is good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
Jakeem Grant now to return. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. Last week, a strong showing, up over 100, also 2 trips to the end zone.
It's the kind of week that if you said, listen, I'll let you have this type of a game each and every week, you'd sign up for it. You wouldn't try and get too greedy. But let's face it, good runners always want to be a little...
And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Von Miller in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. Let's see here, Charles. He was sacked 6 times last week. Now a first-quarter sack. What's going on in his mind?
Well, he's thinking to himself, 5 offensive linemen. I got sacked 6 times last week. Let's start thinking about keeping extra people in. Tight end stays in. If I have a fullback or the running back, they stay in and help me block. Maybe not as many receivers in a pattern. Anything to try and slow down that pass rush.
The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a first down. They're going to look to throw. And he is going to wind up losing yardage here, as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. Second down. Here's an option right. He gives it up. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 11 yards on the pickup, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
It seemed like the situation was 2nd and a mile to go for a first down, which screams what? Throw the football. You got to pass in order to try and pick up that kind of yardage. But in this case, they ran a tendency breaker because the tendency is for defenses to be out there and be set up for a pass. So you break tendency and actually run the football. That changes everything because if you're able to find a crease, you often have bigger guys working against smaller guys downfield. They picked up excellent yardage there to bring up a 3rd down.
Leopard!
A first down carry for Barkley. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
They'll look to throw. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. Calvin Ridley, his 21st touchdown of the season. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Uh-oh, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder. But
Todd Gurley, wave goodbye. The 30, 20, and all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Todd Gurley, his 14th touchdown now of the year. And the Ravens are able to show off their quick strike ability. Well called, well blocked, and he just made a great play. That was an athlete going a long way.
Yeah, how about the suddenness, too, of just getting there and taking off and going? For the defensive guys, plays like that really hurt.
Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. And here now the offense heading back out there. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
And this defense not giving them anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And now nothing but green ahead of him. And he does take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
Illegal block in the back. offense.
Brutal, so take away the long touchdown.
It's a cruel game sometimes, partner.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down. After the penalty, it's Henry. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
I remember playing, and from a safety's perspective, when you saw a toss play and trying to see guys get to the edge and get outside, that was always a tough moment because where do you go to pick up the ball carrier? If they seal the edge and seal the perimeter, they're going to bounce that outside. It's a lot longer run, and you got to make sure your angle is right because once they get to the...
And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. Calvin Ridley, touchdown number 22 on the season. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Here we go now. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Todd Gurley, wave goodbye. He's at the 30. 10. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Todd Gurley with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Ravens are able to show off their quick strike ability. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes, because that's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far, and fun to watch. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. They'll start out on the ground, and Saquon Barkley. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Punches with a catch over the middle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. On first down, he'll drop to throw. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Tedrick Thompson picks it, and he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
They go play action here on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Set! Blue 90! Blue 90!
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. The passing game, they've had more success there than the running game. Maybe something they game plan for.
How come they didn't tell us about it?
Because they wanted to keep it a secret.
We did ask, didn't we? But I think what happened in this one is they've realized that they've established the run pretty well, and teams are going to key on that. They thought,
accelerating, and off he goes. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. Saquon Barkley, 83 yards. And his guys get the quick strike touchdown. And with that carry, he's already over 100 yards here in the first half.
And, partner, you know exactly what he's saying to his teammates right now, right? Especially to the play caller.
Give me the ball.
Again, and again, and again. It's not that heavy, sir. I'll take it.
Now for the point after. Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Todd Gurley and the offense, they get set and trot back out there now. And, Charles, you can't really fault him. He's over 100 yards already. He's not the reason they're losing.
And that is really unusual because ordinarily, when you've set the tone this way and have run it this effectively,
All right, here we go.
Usually your team's in control. So it's a very strange situation. And you're right. You can't fault him. He's done a great job for his team thus far.
I'm guessing he's saying, feed me on the sidelines. Now will they continue to do it? Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
Tight right. Set! Blue 90!
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
Blue 90!
On the handoff, it's Gurley. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. And a timeout here. Timeout taken, whistles blown. Timeout taken by the receiving team. As they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. This is taken around the 12. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. He's been in a pretty good groove. They actually have more yards on the ground than through the air, but both have been good, pretty balanced.
And have we ever met a coach when we've talked to him before a game that hasn't mentioned wanting to be balanced?
No, because then you've got both sides hitting the defense. They don't know what to expect, right?
Really helps your play calling because now you're in a position where you're confident in either aspect of the game. dial it up, and let it go. And so far, that's allowed them to lead.
Absolutely. Have the lead here in the second quarter. He'll look to throw. And Jones has it over the middle. And they do finally get him, but he takes it to the 25. A big play there just before halftime. 43 yards.
Gun!
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here. Just his second incompletion so far. He's 8 for 10. I think he'll take 80%.
There's no doubt that he will, but if you're the defensive play caller, you better circle what you just dialed up on your play sheet and come back to it because you just caused an incompletion. You need a few more of those.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Now, the secondary is really struggling today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away. It turns into a nice play.
And he gets it to Funchess complete. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. They'll look to throw again. And it's caught. Touchdown. Devin Funchess in the final seconds of the first half. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. Fielded about a yard deep. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Green 39.
And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. And now a timeout defensively after that first down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1. And they'll indeed take a knee. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making them sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long.
Check me out. Here we go now.
And they take a knee. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. From there, we head over to MetLife Stadium to check in on the Jets. And as you see, they were winners earlier this afternoon. Lamar Jackson, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. And lastly, on Monday Night Football, this will be one to tune in for as they've got a good one lined up between the San Francisco 49ers and the LA Chargers. Meanwhile, in our game, no shortage of offense as each...
We now proceed to the start of the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. The return man is Grant. He's got daylight. He's at the 40. Past the 20.
And talk about taking words and bringing them to life. At halftime, I will guarantee you in their locker room, they talked about pressing the kicking game because you can get an advantage if you do it right, and they just did.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. Extra point splits the uprights. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that one goes down as a 99-yard kick return for 6 from the 1-yard line all the way to the house on the other end. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure.
And there's a nice stop for the defense. They've had a tough time containing this guy all game long, but maybe they can build a little bit off of that play, a little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum. Yeah. Every now and then you can actually tackle that guy.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
Set! Blue 90!
They'll drop the throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
They just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. That's taken it around the 40. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
And how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach, because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to, but they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. They'll look to throw here on first down. This will be caught at about the 6. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. They'll set up to throw. And he will take it in for the touchdown. Devin Funchess with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And this offense is running away with this one.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. From our vantage point, that was just one bad play by the offensive line in a series of really good ones tonight.
Here we go.
But I know that they're going to be really ticked off. It's a lot like a baseball pitcher losing a no-hitter late in the game.
And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Sack, baby, sack. Eat.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long.
Single receiver. Hey, you're on. Hurry up, here we go. Boom.
Back to throw here. They'll lock it with a grab over the middle. And down he'll go at the 25. It'll be a gain of 17, but even with that, they'll be well short here for fourth down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore.
Automatic first down.
You get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
So the face mask puts them in even better shape than they were in, as they'll have a short field here on first and 10. And no pitch there and no chance either, as he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
The pitch goes to Barkley. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him.
Gun.
They keep it with Barkley on first down. And a solid run down inside the 30. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Gun. Detroit.
Now back to throw. His throw caught right around the 6. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards. They'll look to throw here. Oh, that was dangerous. Throw it into coverage, almost picked. But instead, they'll keep it on 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. And he's going to go down just outside of the 5, right around the 6-yard line. Von Miller in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
Second goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
They'll set up a throw. And it's caught. Touchdown. Paul Richardson, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And this offense continues to pour it on. Point after, right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while, get at least 2 first downs, give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
And he'll get this only up to about the 35. The tackle there by Patrick Peterson. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
They'll try and pick up the first with Gurley. And not only will he not get the few inches he needs, he's going to go backwards. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll bring up 4th down.
But that certainly felt like an example of a defense just saying, okay, we've had enough. We've gotten mashed all night long. About time we got a good play in. But flip it over to the offensive side. They've got to be really upset that they allowed a play like that to happen. They were pitching such a great game. They want to keep it going.
They'll start by running the option to the right. Oh, leaves him behind on the spin. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Back to throw now on first down. Flush to his right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Melvin Ingram able to get in there and take him down for a loss of 3.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Looking to throw. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. They'll look to throw now on first down. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again.
Detroit!
Back to throw. And it's caught. Touchdown. Calvin Ridley with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And this offense is running away with this one. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
That's going to go as a loss of 7, and it'll set him back for 2nd down.
Crash down, crash. Woo! You got him. You got him. You got him.
throw here out of the gun. And a quick throw here that's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your number one cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down. He'll drop to throw. Throw right side, taken in by Godwin. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long?
Set! 3-19! 3-19! Ready?
He'll look to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Out comes Calvin Ridley and the offense for their next drive. This defense, they wouldn't mind not seeing him again for a while. 3 trips to the end zone. How about that?
I think right now they would happily go to their general manager. Is there any way you could get a trade for him, bring him over to our team so we don't have to cover him anymore? Because he is really having a heck of a ball game, isn't he?
Boy, he is. I don't know that mid-game trade is going to happen, but good thought. They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24.
Detroit! 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 Detroit!
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And he will find Ridley on the left side. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That one goes for 36 yards.
Gun! Detroit! Detroit!
They'll look to throw. Looking for Funchess, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Dane Cruikshank. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other. But it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety,
All right, here we go.
it makes it tough to defend.
They're going to look to throw. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 47. And it's a touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but if the ball's in the air, they treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Extra point right down the middle, and the lead will swell by 1 more. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field.
Right. He's tight right here. He's tight on the right. Tight on the right. All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
After the pick 6, they go right back to the air. And they'll set up the screen to Gurley. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Time for a break. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Green 39. Green 39.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
All right, now,
I know many people like to throw to the
56.
tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates
right, here
mismatches
we
with
go.
his size.
3-19.
The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And his throw here's incomplete. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
He'll look to throw. And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down. Here's Marquette King now. He's been terrific so far. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Out comes Calvin Ridley and the offense for their next drive. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games?
Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
Going. She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that will extend this big lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And our attention shifts to Todd Gurley. And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him? Maybe the guys up front? Combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. They had blocked so well in the first half, picked up on what the defense was doing. I think we've seen an adjustment now that they have not picked up on, and now they're being a little bit overwhelmed. And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now, defensively here, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. The Ravens on third down. They've been stymied left and right. Converted only one time. This is 3rd and 16. Now a desperation throw deep down. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. A big-time third down play for the Ravens. 61 yards. Now a play fake here on first down. To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
So now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. It's a loss of 11 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
I really don't know where to go with this one. He caught the pass, but in the opposite direction towards his own end zone. That's not one you get every game.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further.
Set! 3-19!
One final shot. They'll look to throw. And this is dropped it incomplete. Well, there's a metaphor for how this one is gone as time has run out on this ball game. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.